All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Nerd Talk. Of course, you know who it is, your boy Gnosis Tech here. We're doing things a little bit differently here. I know you're used to seeing me and Ken's wonderful face, but we're going through some renovations, so we're going to have to deal with the nice wallpaper. Yep. Of course, as always, joining me is the king himself. He's risen from his throne to join me once more for this awesome podcast. King Ken, thank you.
I'm here. You're welcome.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
You're the best.
Not just you either. The audience. You're welcome.
Oh, the audience. You see, he's gracing us with his presence. Like we.
Yes, going through renovations. Our faces are going through renovations. We can't show them right now.
Exactly. Indeed, we can't show that. Oh, it's getting dark. I forgot it was dark over here. I'm gonna turn on the light. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. It's dark over. It's getting dark in the house, and I didn't want to make us feel like we were zombies, so I needed
boxes in the middle of the room.
There were. My roommate had a lot of stuff come in, so trust me, there were actually more boxes before you came over. I actually got rid of there was 3 large boxes and like 10 other small little boxes that came in. So I was like, oh my god, so many boxes. Yeah, he got some new stuff. So, but anyway, guys, we've got a good podcast for you today. We're going to be talking a little bit about some Google products. I actually purchased the Pixel 3, the XL version. So,
It's a really beautiful phone, especially that notch.
It's that notch, man. It's that notch. But yeah,
it's notched that bad.
Yeah, exactly. See, it's notched that bad. It's notched.
Title for your next video.
Yeah, notched that bad. So I did purchase the Pixel 3. I'm actually in the process of doing a video for it. So make sure you guys, of course, are subscribed to the YouTube channel, so you can see when that goes up. But pretty much, we do these live on Twitch, but like I said, I'm going through some renovations for creating a proper setup space. So therefore, just wanted to go ahead and do a pre-recording. You know, of course, we have to give you guys some delicious tech news. So, but normally we do these on Twitch and we upload it on YouTube. You guys are watching this on YouTube right now. We do thank you for joining us or watching us. You can always let us know in the comments below your thoughts and opinions. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started for today. So today we're going to be having a few topics we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about the Google, is it the Google Home? Yeah, the Google Home Hub. We're going to be talking about Intel and their 9900K processor. It has been overclocked to almost 8 gigahertz. Crazy stuff. Then, of course, RTX has been released, I believe, and the reviews are out for it. And so far, it seems to be fairly good. Nice upgrade if you're coming from like a 1080 Ti or 1080. Pixel 3, the fast charger only works really on the Pixel's stand. We'll get more into that later. The Huawei Mate Pro 20, this is a really weird name. It's very long, but
Mate 20 Pro.
Yeah, Mate 20 Pro is a nice phone, I will say. It's very nice. Samsung is revealed at a developer conference some very special technology that might be able to give us a all-screen device. We might actually just be able to get rid of Notch altogether. See, this could be the end of Notch City. End of it all.
You get rid of anything on the phone. It's just you just hold up the glass.
Yeah, true. Yeah. And then last but not least, we'll go ahead and talk about the new Razer Phone 2. We've got a review from The Verge talking about how it glows, but it doesn't shine. Whatever could that mean? We'll go ahead and talk about that in a little bit. But as always, before we get into it, I'd like to go ahead and give a shout out to one of my favorite producers. He makes most of the beats for the channel here. And of course, that's going to be Gnosis. So I actually don't have his panhandle up here, but if you guys want to check him out, it's going to be soundcloud.com/Gnosis. He makes really good music, really awesome. They sound great. He's actually working on a new project that I can't really disclose with you guys, but trust me, I've heard some of what he's doing. It is fire. So if you guys are interested, again, soundcloud.com/Gnosis. Make sure you guys check him out. Show him some love. Let him know that Gnosis Tech sent you. But let's get into some nerd talk, shall we? So we're going to go ahead and start off with the Google Home Hub. Now, we all been seeing all the smart devices, smart home, smart everything. Our devices are literally not only going to control our homes, but us in the future.
Yeah, we will become the devices.
Yeah, so let's go and talk about the Google Home Hub. This article that I have is going to be coming from The Verge. Now, if you guys are interested and you want to read these articles yourselves, I will have them linked in the description below, so you guys can go ahead and take a look at them. And like I said, if you want to give your thoughts, you can. But pretty much, this is going to be pretty much the best digital photo frame ever, according to The Verge.
Oh, it sells me right there,
Yeah. What else do you need? So, I mean, the Google Home Hub is priced, I think, very well. $149 for it. Pretty much, you can do everything like you would on an Alexa show. You can have it ask questions. You can have it set temperatures. The only thing it doesn't have is a camera, which for most people is pretty good. Oh,
I was gonna say, could we watch YouTube from it?
You can.
Oh, that's gonna be. I can change my alarm clock for this, and then when I'm laying in bed, watch YouTube videos until I fall asleep.
There you go.
That's a good use of it. I'd pay $150 for that.
That's actually not bad. I could do that. You gave me a good idea, Ken. You gave me a good idea. So
replace your alarm clocks with it, and then of course you can use it to watch videos.
Yeah, you just tell yo Google, just I want to watch my favorite dude, and she'd be like, I got you.
No, not that dude.
No, not the other dude, not the other dude before dude, that dude after that dude.
Yeah.
So, but some of the good stuff that they talked about with the Google Home Hub is that it has a really great display that has automatic dimming and color adjustment. So, just I guess depending on where you have it located, the brightness of the room, it'll go ahead and automatically adjust itself accordingly, which is nice.
Kind of like the phones have that.
Yeah, phones with the adaptive display brightness on most of your devices. So that's a nice thing. Nice compact size and can be comfortably placed in many spots throughout the home. And that is true. I actually got a chance to go to my local Best Buy and actually look at it.
Oh,
it's a very nice sized device, I will say. You can put it anywhere in the house, and it's very discreet. So it doesn't really scream hub, but when you see it, you're like, okay.
How big's the screen on it?
Let me see. I don't know if they tell me. I want to say probably about a 7-inch if I had to take a guess.
Okay.
It's not that big. I'll probably say about a 7-inch. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it is about a 7-inch device. So it's not massive. But it definitely, if you see it in person, it does look really nice. It looks very simple, very elegant. It looks like if you do put it like maybe as something that you walk in like on a desk or table, it definitely blends in very well. It's got the comprehensive smart home controls that can be accessed via voice or touch. So it does have a touchscreen on there, but you can also use your voice as well. And like I said, it has pretty much all full functionality. The only thing that it really doesn't have is a camera. And I know for most people, that's something that they are actually happy it doesn't have. Just because, some people are into the security and privacy. Yeah. And they think having a camera on there would, of course, if somebody hacked into it, could see everything. So, I mean, it's nice that Google, did that. For me, it didn't.
It don't matter to me. I mean, I would prefer a camera on it, but I mean, I'm not, just in case you want to video chat. I mean, I'm not going to do either way, so.
Right.
It makes it cheaper to not have a camera.
Yeah,
put it on there.
Yeah, I mean, if I don't have to pay more money for it, that'll be fine. Then, of course, Google Photo integration makes it good for digital photos, best digital photo frame ever made, which is true because Google Photos, pretty much, if you have it on your phone, you can back up all your data. And if you have like a Pixel device, it already comes by default. So that's actually pretty convenient. The only thing I could see kind of being like an issue is if you have photos in there you really don't want to, people seeing. You may have to go in there and adjust the settings to what it shows, so you can, you don't have your nudes. You got you got your guests coming over and they just see a naked picture. You're like, oh my god, what is that? And they're like, Google Photos, god dang it. So
they hacked my Google Photos account.
They hacked it. That's what it was. Apple hacked my Google Photos. That's what.
But you know what? Now you can't blame it on someone's using it to take pictures of you because they didn't put no camera on it. So.
That is true. Oh,
yeah.
Well,
there you got rid of one lie.
There you go. One lie is crushed. Another one forms. So that was pretty much the good stuff that The Verge said. Now, some of the bad things they talked about was the display being a little bit small. I guess they would like a bigger display. Which, I don't know, does it matter how big the display is on a smart hub? Would you prefer having a small or would you prefer having a large display?
Well, I want to watch YouTube on it, so I'd prefer a little bit bigger.
A little bit bigger.
But that sort of contradicts what they said because the Pro is that it's compact size that it can fit places, but now they're saying it's too small.
Yeah, that is a little contradictory. Like, choose one. Either it's nice and compact or it's too small. Like, that.
You know what?
Verge.
They could have got the size working if they put a notch on it.
Oh my god! Could you imagine? You can imagine a notch on a hub. Oh my god, that would be the ugliest thing in the world. You just see this thing with a notch. Oh god, why? I'm glad Google didn't do that on everything. Just some things. Oh my god. I don't. No, please don't do that. They're gonna do it now that they heard what I said.
The quality of the speaker is weak.
No. So speaker quality's not really that good. I haven't heard it, so I don't know.
Can't stream Netflix.
What?
That's a specific, very specific.
You can stream everything else but Netflix.
Well,
I have to say Google every time you want to talk to the thing.
That's every Google product.
But I mean that's kind of not really a bad thing. That's expected. Like even if your phone, if you wanted to use Google, I mean you could squeeze, but most phones you just use the hotkey. Yeah. You know, to open it up. I don't really consider that to be necessarily.
I mean, the only other alternative is it just listens to you always and just randomly does stuff.
Yeah, I know. I don't think we've gotten to the point where you can just be like, "Hey, what's the weather like tomorrow?" And then Google just knows you're talking to it. Like, there's like so many things that needs to be worked out before we get to that point. So, I mean, that's not really. I can consider that really a bad thing. But I do know that there are different versions of the hub. So they have a JBL speaker that has the Google Hub in it. Then they have the Lenovo hub, and then of course the one by Google themselves. So if you want a bigger screen, I mean, they do have ones that are for different people. If you want a better speaker, they got the JBL. Yeah. If you're looking for a bigger screen with a camera, they've got the Lenovo. So I think even though this is a newer product, I think because they have those other devices that are also out there, it's kind of you get different options. It's just you got to pay more for them. Yeah, a kind of situation.
Depending what company you want to make it.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, probably people wanted like Google to make all the Google Hub products, but they didn't. So I mean, there are options out there for you if you want something with a good speaker. But usually, most people either have a sound bar that has the Bluetooth, or you may have even a Bluetooth speaker that you may be sitting around. I don't know.
I feel like they should have made it more expensive and gave it the same like speakers that they use in their Google Homes. Not the Hub, but the regular Google Homes.
Oh, just the regular size one?
Yeah, the full size ones.
Yeah,
that's big. They should have put that same speaker in there. Maybe made it like 230 or something like that.
Yeah, that would have.
And it would have been better sound quality, and it would have had the same features.
Yeah, I'm surprised they actually haven't done a refresh of that. I was thinking they would like do a refresh, or even like the Google Max, like maybe had a screen on that, like a little screen at the top on that one. That would have been.
Maybe that's why they made this one so cheap. That maybe this is kind of a replacement if you wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think with this one, it kind of just seems like it's more so a digital frame that has hub technology. So like you can use it as a hub, but it's mainly a frame. Because I think frames you can cost anywhere from like under 100 to about almost 200, depending on the type of frame you get. So I mean, this is kind of probably competing with that space. But if you wanted to also use it as a hub for your smart devices, it can do that. But then, like I said, if you wanted different sizes or a better speaker, I think that's where they're kind of banking on you to buy like the JBL one or the Lenovo one, because those are going to pretty much not have what this one does not have. Right. So I mean, overall, it seems like it's a good product. It's priced very well, I will say, and it does look really nice. I like the fabric that Google puts on their stuff. Always looks modern. But I think they gave it an 8.5 out of 10. So that's, like I said, almost 10 out of 10. So pretty top-notch stuff. So I don't know. You going to get it, Ken? That's the real question. Are you going to buy it?
Maybe at some point. Not right now.
Not right now. It's not an importance.
No, it's not.
You ain't got no smart stuff?
I have a Google Home and Google Home Mini, and I have... Well, no, I don't have the Mini. I gave that away. I have a Google Home, and I have an Insignia one with Google Home built into it.
Oh, okay. Well, I got the Google Home Mini, and I barely use it. I try to use it, and then I realize I don't know where to put the thing. So I might put it like near my family room where my TV stand is, because that's the only place I could think of me actually using it, just because I'm tired of always having to use my phone and turn off my lights. So I'll just have Google do it for me. So, but I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can see myself getting it like down the road. I think for me, I would get it when I get a house. Yeah. I think that's because when I get my house, that's when I'm gonna have probably the most smart stuff. So when I get a lot more smart stuff, then I'll probably get one of those. But right now, I'm perfectly fine with the Google Mini, just because I only have like a few lights that actually work. So, but not everything in my apartment actually is fully integrated with smart devices. I want to, but it's very expensive. Lights by themselves cost a lot. They're like $40, $40 to $50, depending on if you want a colored one or a non-colored one. They're expensive. It's not cheap. You don't make it cheap. Make it cheap, and I might consider it.
I'll go back to the standard LEDs.
There you go. I'll go back to the one that just has to make me flicker on and off the light switch. Click, click. All right, so go into the next one. We're going to go ahead and switch on and continue with Google News. So this one, I'll put it over here. This one is going to be for the Pixel 3. So the Pixel 3 apparently only supports fast charging for the Pixel Stand. Now, I actually watched a YouTuber, Dave2D. He did a video talking about how the wattage on the Pixel Stand was about 10 watts. Mm-hmm. And when he tried to put it on other wireless chargers, it was only about usually 5 to 6. Mm-hmm. So he was pretty much saying that you're not able to really get fast wireless charging on other devices, only the Pixel Stand, mm-hmm. Which is kind of interesting. I mean, for me, I usually charge my phone during the night if I do have a wireless charger. So for me personally, it's not that big of a deal if it charges fast or not, as long as by the time I wake up, mm-hmm. it's at 100% and it's not like 20%. Then
if you're going to buy a wireless, most people who buy, I feel like at least, I might be wrong, buy wireless charging stands and stuff. I mean, it's just for your phone really. So why is it that big of a deal? You just buy the one for your phone, the Pixel one. If they have it for sale after the fact,
yeah,
just buy the one that's for your phone and then just have it because it's for your phone.
Yeah, and, I mean, true. And I think with most people as well, and I could be wrong as well. So, I mean, this is just what I would believe. Mm-hmm. But not a lot of people really know to care of fast wireless charging. Mm-hmm. Most people just buy a wireless charger just because it's more convenient to just prop it on your desk or your stand at night and go to sleep. And if most people, now not saying everybody, but there is a good majority of people who charge their phones at night. So for them, how fast it charges doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, I understand why it would be, an issue if, you get a secondary charger and the phone says it's charging fast, and it's actually not doing it. Yeah, that could be a bit of an issue. Yeah. Which, I mean, I'm pretty sure software, something like that, might be able to fix it. But nonetheless, most people probably don't know that the charger they have is fast wireless charging anyway. Mm-hmm. Some people are not going to come in and be like, I need a 15-watt wireless charger. Like, they just know that as long as it charges my phone and when I wake up it's at 100%, I'm a happy boy. And now it could be something that Google has done that purposely so that you can buy the stand for it. I know the stand costs about $80, which, I mean, it's not really priced that ridiculous. I mean, if you get a Samsung, like a fast convertible charger, it's priced around that point, like about $70. So it's about $10 cheaper than the Pixel Stand. So it's not priced ridiculously that bad. And I mean, for what you get with it, you get more than just a stand. It's also a smart display sort of as well, which is pretty cool. So I think for $80, I mean, if you're going to get anything, that's not a bad way to get it, because not a lot of other chargers do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're investing close to $1,000 if you buy the phone anyway.
True. Yeah, I mean,
if you're going to spend that much, expect to spend a lot of money on the accessories.
That is very true. Now, don't expect to spend case money on it, because there's not cases for the Pixel 3 yet. Mm-hmm. There's only the Google ones, which the Google ones are definitely not bad.
That's all I use for mine. I've had this since my Pixel 2 came out. Never once broke the screen. The Google case works really well.
They do. I have the fabric one. I have the blue one, and the blue one's really nice. I like the texture. But yeah, I mean, there's not really cases for the Pixel 3. But I mean, like I said, the stand it's one of those things that, if you are into something like that, then that could be a concern for you, because you're buying a secondary charger and you're thinking that it's fast wireless charging and it's not actually charging it. But I think that's really more so for people who kind of are into that type of thing. The average person isn't really going to think about whether this is fast wireless charging. They're just going to be like, I want a wireless charger that just charges my phone.
Yeah.
So
that's where I think it's going to be. The only people who are really going to run into this issue, I think, are people who try to see a cheaper wireless charger and try to buy it. But then they're going to be like, why isn't it charging as fast? Well, that's because you bought one that was half the price.
Yeah, it was like,
Google said that's not made for it.
Yeah, it's like $29 compared to $80. I mean, it doesn't have the same technology. I mean, yeah, it's maybe QI, but it's not. There's different speeds that it gives you. So, yeah. I mean, if you get something inexpensive, you can't expect it to be better than something that's a little bit more pricey.
Yeah.
And that's where I think kind of comes in. It's like if you buy a wireless charger that's like maybe $20, $30, you can't expect it to be as good as a $60 to $80 one, because even though it may have QI charging, it may not be fast QI charging, and it may say fast wireless charging, but it may not be at the same wattage or rate that a higher end one does. So I mean, I would say take it with a grain of salt. If you're a person that just doesn't care, if you're like me and Ken here, if you don't really care, then I mean, this isn't gonna bother you one bit. It's not something that is pretty much going to destroy your phone or cause any issues. And again, it's not like if it's a software issue, it's something they can't update to make it where it recognizes another fast wireless charger and makes it work. But again, this could be a marketing thing. You know, if you want fast charging, just get the Pixel, Pixel stand. So.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's not like the iPhone, which if it goes to sleep, you can't charge.
Yeah, see, there you go. Would you rather have a phone that slowly charges or not charge at all? You be the judge of that. You be the judge of that one. All right, so we're gonna go continue on. We're gonna get into Intel. Now here, AMD fan, loving my AMD stuff. I just actually upgraded my processor. Ken knows, upgraded to the 2700X. So far, I'm happy. I'm loving it. I've been begging for this processor, and it's got a nice cooler with it. Very nice cooler. But, Intel's doing some interesting stuff. We don't know what's going on. When are we going to get that, 10 nanometer, 7 nanometer chip? Who knows? That's yet to be known, to be determined. But somebody was able to actually take a i9 9900K and overclock it to 7.6 gigs on all cores.
I just made your new purchase.
Yeah, I think I might have to go buy something new.
Board and everything.
So, pretty much, I'm trying to find the name of the gentleman that did it. I had his name, but I forgot it, so I gotta look it up. Oh yeah, I'm trying to think. I think it's Joe Steppens.
Yeah, that's fine.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was a German overclocker. His name is, I'm not even gonna try to say, Raman something unpronounceable, hard tongue. Was able to overclock all the cores of the i9 900K to 7,613.19 megahertz, and this was on all 8 cores.
Did it say how long they got it going for?
I don't think it tells you.
Did it just melt down instantly afterwards?
Well, what they no, not at all. So pretty much what they did was that they used liquid helium to be able to cool it, and they were able to get it down to negative 230 degrees Celsius. So nice and chill. That thing wasn't gonna.
Yes, I will definitely be able to recreate that at home.
Yeah. If you got the money, go get some liquid helium, and boom, you got it. So they showed a screenshot of it on CPU-Z, just showing you that it has been overclocked on all the cores. And it was running on an Asus ROG Maximus X9 Z390 motherboard, and was using about 8 gigs of DDR4 memory. Like I said, using liquid helium to be able to get it down to those temperatures. So don't go trying to think that, oh man, we're at 8 gigahertz already. No, sir. Try doing this at your house. Your computer's going to explode. So
he's got that speed and he's only putting 8 gigs of RAM in there. Come on,
I know.
Man.
Yeah,
come on now. What are you doing?
32 gigs, man. What are you? Come on.
Overclock that memory. Too.
I know. I need to go up to 4,000 megahertz. Come on, break record. So I think that actually breaks the record of the highest overclock processor, because I think last time it was 5 gigahertz, but now the new i9 can pretty much boost up to 5 gigahertz.
Yeah.
So now we're going to almost 8 gigahertz. Now I think I was talking to one person a while back, and they were saying how with most processors they have the ability to go up to the clock speeds without needing to overclock. It's just that manufacturers just don't clock them to that point, which I mean probably is maybe some good reasoning behind that. I mean, I don't know. As long as my processor can play my games and do my editing fine, I'm happy.
It can definitely do that without being 7.6.
I know, right? I'm thinking, like, what would you need as an average person? What would you need a 7.6 gig clock speed processor for? What are you doing? Are you hacking the government?
Maybe he's trying to turn his computer into an actual AI.
Oh, the computer transforms. It's now a human.
Yeah,
that's
I'm
how
sure
it is.
It processes faster than humans, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess so.
I don't know. No, that could be wrong.
So I mean, that's impressive. I will say 7.6 gigahertz. We're gonna get to 10 gigahertz in no time. I mean, I don't know. You think we'll ever see the point where I think once we get everything up to 5 gigahertz. Do you think we'll be able to go past that? Like, as an average day-to-day use, we'll be able to ever see anything past 5 gigahertz? Because when you get up there, of course, it's higher wattage, higher temperatures, and most coolers, aren't going to be able to support that. I mean, even a liquid cooler is going to be, it can cool it but so much, but when you're getting up to speeds like that, that's a lot of heat that's going through. So, I mean, you think there's potential to even be able to get to something like that where we could see a processor being able to be boost clock?
Probably, because, way back when they were a lot older and stuff, they didn't even reach a gigahertz, and they couldn't really push it up to that. Probably because the heating issues were probably a thing then.
True.
So, there's always ways to do that. Hey, maybe they'll start selling water cooling that comes with liquid helium inside of them.
Maybe that's exactly what I was gonna say.
Maybe move away from water to some other type of
liquid nitrogen and liquid helium are gonna be the future cooling is gonna be like nitrogen cooling or something like that. I can see that being a thing though, like because a lot of people use nitrogen and helium. It's probably hell of expensive to get. So I couldn't imagine if you're getting a water cooler like that, you're probably paying a good pretty penny for it. But I could see that being the next way to get to speeds like that. It's just putting liquid nitrogen and liquid helium in a cooler, and now that's your way of cooling it. The only thing would be is how expensive would that be? Like, how much are you paying for that liquid cooler? And I wonder, there might even be stuff that's up there already. So who knows? It's crazy times. It's a great time to be a computer head, even a better time to be a computer nerd. And that's where Nerd Talk comes in, because we're the best. So I don't know. You want a 8 gig processor?
Yeah, I'll take it if I don't gotta pay that much anymore.
like maybe like $300. It's like, okay, yeah, thank you. You know who needs an 8 gigahertz processor? Little Smokey. He needs a new We're gonna get him that one. We're gonna give him some liquid helium and be like, go have fun. Little Smokey. He might actually smoke up his house, so maybe the name will actually be fitting for him.
Could be, yeah.
Maybe.
By the way, I looked it up. They've already had computers out faster than human thinking in 2011 was when it was done.
Oh wow! Well,
so now we're just burying ourselves.
Yeah,
we're just making them more powerful as when they do finally take over.
Yeah, they're gonna take over, and we're just gonna be dumb, truly dumb.
We can't react to them.
They're gonna hit us like in like the 6th dimension, and we're just gonna feel it as we get older. We're like, oh. How did I get that hit so quickly?
They will step on a crack, and your mama will feel it.
And she will feel it. Her back will break. That saying will come true. And they probably already did it, and that's why your mom has an unexpected pain, because they've already done it. They've already stepped on the crack, and now your mom's just now feeling it, because we're so behind in thinking. We don't see what the robots see. They see everything. iRobot was a good example. That's what's gonna happen.
Your favorite movie, iRobot.
I actually did like that movie for a while. That was one of my favorite movies, and then somehow I kind of got over the lore of it. I was like, what was the next robot movie that came out? I don't know. There was another movie that was about AI.
A newer Terminator movie?
No, Terminator.
Genesis?
I don't remember. I'm gonna have to find it, but I don't remember what it was. But it was another movie that was similar to iRobot. And I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know. Maybe I was watching a TV show and didn't realize it. It could have been. Could have been, because I'm trying to think of a movie that was
Detroit Become Human. There you go.
There you go. That's what I was thinking of that beautiful movie right there. That's the best movie. It's only on PS4 though. You can't get it on anything else. It's only on PS4. So if you want to watch it, you got to have a PS4. Sorry guys. Or if your favorite YouTubers got it, then no.
It's probably a playthrough online.
Oh yeah, there's a billion playthroughs. When that game came out, I was hawking it. I watched everybody do the exact same thing, but I was enjoying it so much. It's a great game. It's one of the best story-based. I don't know what category they consider that. Story-based something game. It's something like that. And I don't think it's an RPG, but I know it's a story-based game. But that was one of the best because I watched most of The Walking Dead. I've played Back to the Future. I wanted to play The Wolf Among Us. That was probably my second favorite out of all of them.
Yep. Then they were like, we're shutting down.
Yeah, that was sad.
And someone's picking up The Walking Dead at least, so that'll get finished.
Yeah, but I wanted The Wolf Among Us too. That was.
I know, and they had announced they were going to work on a second season too.
I know, that was so excited. Now I'm disappointed. Come on, Telltale. Let me buy the company.
It's already done with. What do you mean?
Let me buy the company again. So, and then Until Dawn was pretty good. I think Until Dawn at the time had the best graphics because they were using a different engine, and I love that. And then, but Wolf Among Us at the time was still my favorite. But Until Dawn was a pretty good horror game. But sometimes the facial animations on Until Dawn were a little weird. Like you could see, like they had to like do some things in order to get the face to work properly. But it came out sometimes weird. And then when Detroit Become Human came out, I didn't know how good the game was going to be. I thought it was going to be kind of a Watchdog game where it's open world, but you're playing as a robot trying to save your people. I didn't know it was going to be story based. So that kind of changed it for me because when they showed the trailer, I thought, okay, well this is going to be kind of like how Watch Dogs is, but instead of being a human, you're a robot saving your people, and you get all these cool powers that you can do. So I was like, oh man, this is going to be fun. And then it was a story-based game. I'm like, oh, well, I guess that's cool too. But I was actually very impressed with the game. It looked great. It had the really, really gorgeous graphics. Best graphics I've ever seen. Storyline was really good.
Yeah, they were the Alexa robots. They had the Alexa.
They did. Alexa took over. Alexa was everybody.
Yeah.
So I liked the game very much. It was one of the best games I thought out there, especially one that was story based. So if you disagree, get out. Go get out. There's no excuse on that one. All right. Well, now that we got off topic about video games, we're gonna go ahead and talk more about why ray tracing should be in your life. When somebody knocks on your door and says, "Do you believe in your Lord and Savior ray tracing?" You should immediately say, "Tell me more."
Tell them to leave.
You tell them, no, I don't need ray tracing. I've seen what it did to SpongeBob and Patrick. Can't have that.
No, it's not. It's not even real yet. You're lying to me.
It's lies. These are not real people. So, the RTX 2070 is out. And reviews are out. So, I'm gonna say already, 2070, 2080 Ti. If you're going for one, what are you going for? Because their price right now is pretty crazy. Like I saw my first ever RTX box for the 2080, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna get it. How much is it? $800." I said, "Oh my god, I didn't realize how expensive these things are. They are expensive." But if you had to go with one, what would you go with?
Between 2070 or 1080 Ti?
Like between the 2070 to the 2080 Ti. Like which one would you?
Oh, I mean, I guess the 2070 for a price wise, but I don't have no price in 2080 Ti.
I mean, of course, if there's like no budget, 2080 Ti all the way.
No, I live on a budget, man. What are you talking about? Give me the 2070, or just get me a console.
Yeah, one or the other. If I can't get the graphics card, give me the console, please.
Yeah.
But again, 2070. I can't even say it. RTX 2070 is out. There are reviews out on it, and so far, a lot of people have been saying that it's overall a really good graphics card. It's a nice upgrade from the 2080 Ti. From the 1080 Ti and the 1080. These numbers are gonna confuse the crap out of me because they're very close to each other. So if I mess it up, I apologize. But of course, we got a chance to see some benchmarks. But as far as how good it is going to be priced at $600. So it is the more attractive one out of all of the RTX series graphics cards. Like I said, 2080 is about $800. 2080 Ti, depending on I guess what manufacturer you get it from, is about good $1,000. So it's priced up there. So it is the more attractive one between all of them. So of course, if you are looking at the RTX series, it might be something that you may want to get. It seems to be doing pretty well. Looking at it kind of right here, pretty much calling it a beast. So I'm sorry. The article that we're looking at was by TechSpot. They're the ones that did. Like I said, I'll have all the articles linked in the description, so if you want to go ahead and check this out, you are more than welcome to. But they pretty much did a benchmark test to go ahead and put it against some games to see how it did. Their system was a i7 8700K. What? They didn't use an i9? My goodness,
that's too expensive, man.
They're slacking though.
It's too expensive.
Come on, they're slacking.
No.
Come on.
It's better than the 2000 series.
That's true.
We tested this on
no,
Little Smokey's computer.
Little Smokey's computer was smoking up. He was smoking it. Yeah, we couldn't handle it. But it was an i7 8700K that was clocked at 5 gigahertz. It was using 32 gigs of DDR4 Vengeance memory. And then they compared it against the AMD one, so they did the Radeon Adrenaline Edition drivers and things like that. Sorry, I don't sound too technical here, but whatever. Get out of here. And then they did it for 20 different games. And so far, again, benchmarks were looking good. Where is it at? Sorry, I'm looking at this on my phone. It's very small.
That's what she said.
So, pretty much at 1440p for some. Why? I just realized what you said.
I can't stop. Whenever something like that happens, I have to say
this is the office again. Everything is a that's what she said moment. So at 1440p, they saw that the results between the 1080 and the 2070 were about the same. So not really big difference there. They're saying that it was 21% slower than the RTX 2080. Then at 4K, the 2070 and the 1080 have pretty much the same exact performance.
So I don't need to upgrade. Okay, because I have a 1080.
No, I mean, yeah. Are you getting at 1440p?
Yeah, I run my games at 4K.
Oh, well then, yeah, you don't need to upgrade. Yep. So pretty much, 2070 is going to be 23% slower than the 2080. So not really surprising there. I mean, again, I feel like the 2070 is one of those graphics cards. It's like, it's good 1080p, good 1440p. When you're stepping into 4K gaming, your 1080, 1080 Ti, 2080 Ti are more than likely probably going to be, if you have a 1080 or 1080 Ti, you're probably good. You're mostly good, unless you just want the extra FPS. Then that's where you probably would go 2080, 2080 Ti. But, 1080p gaming, 1070 Ti, 2070, those are pretty much, or 1440p too. Those graphics cards are kind of good for those.
Yeah, I don't want to drop like $800+ though, just for some few extra frames. Personally,
yeah, that is kind of interesting. That if you really think about it, like they do have better performance, but nowadays you almost gotta think of it like what games really take advantage of what those graphics cards can do. Because ray tracing was the biggest thing that was supposed to drive these graphics cards,
and
it's not even out on them. So what else is
slightly better frames? That's all.
Yeah, just a few extra frames and
a different architecture. That's it.
Yeah, it is using a different architecture. I mean, I game at 1080p. Like, I don't know if I game at 4K yet. I don't know if I'm really there. But I like the game at 1080p. For me, the quality is perfectly fine. So I have a 1070 Ti. I probably would upgrade to the 2070 or the 2080, but I'm kind of the same way. I wouldn't want to drop $800. Like, if that's the case, I might as well just get a 1080 or a 1080 Ti and then be done, because again, ray tracing was kind of the big thing for these new cards. So the fact that that's not even out yet, we don't really know how much that is even going to hurt performance. Because I've seen people say that it does decrease the performance on the graphics cards by a lot. So until we can actually see what that is, I don't know. It's kind of it's kind of hard to determine. But going on, they also did some games. So they did Far Cry 5 at 1440p, 1080p, and then 4K. They did Assassin's Creed Odyssey. In comparing that to with a 20, I can't speak today. The RTX 2070 was 8% faster on average at 1080. Then it went up to 13% on 1440, and then I think that's 4K if I'm reading that right. So, okay. So they're saying that the 1080 and 1080 Ti are a little bit slower than the RTX 2080 by 14%, if I'm reading that correctly.
Where at?
Right here. Am I reading that correctly?
It found itself in between, so that means...
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Okay, there
in the middle of the 1080 and 1080 Ti. So it's 14% slower than the 2080 overall, the 2070. But it's higher than the 1080 and lower than the 1080 Ti. So.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Oh, that's pretty interesting. Dang, that's kind of sucky.
Yeah.
That means the 1080 Ti. 1080 Ti is just dang still powerful, man.
Yeah, 1080 Ti is still better than the 2070.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
The 2080 is better than the 2080 Ti, I believe, though. Mostly.
Yeah, in most things, it seems they're about either equal or they're about this, or a little bit better performance. I think it really comes down with those two, though, for 4K gaming. Yeah, like 1080p gaming, like most graphics cards will crush 1080p. When you get like 1444, especially really 4K gaming, I think that's where, again, and we said it the podcast, in the podcast before, that if you're playing 4K gaming, and you're looking at a good upgrade, usually you're probably going to look at either your 2080 or your 2080 Ti, because those are going to give you faster frame rates than the 1080 Ti. I don't think between a Ti and an RTX 2080 it's by much, but it is a difference. Of course, overall is the 2080 Ti. That's going to still be the king for all of it. But nonetheless, again, spending $800 to almost probably more than $1,000 on a graphics card for just a few better frame rates, like, it's almost how bad do you really need those? Like, I can see if it's something where you have a older build, maybe you've got the money and you're looking to upgrade, then I can maybe see you wanting to get one of the newer graphics cards. But it's one of those things, like, if you have a 1070 to 1080 Ti, you may not be as interested to buy. Yeah. Because you're not really seeing enough difference to really say, yeah, I've got to get this graphics card. And I think that's kind of the hard bargain with these, is that I think the 2070 is priced at the best. So if you are going to get any of those, it's probably right now the 2070. Because until the 2080 comes down on the price, like, if 2080 was like maybe, I don't know, $600-700, that'd be a little bit better, because then it would be $100 difference between a 2070 and 2080, and then if the 2080 Ti was $800-900, then it's like, okay, you're looking at about $100 difference between the cards. I'm more prone to maybe get one, right? But when you've got $600, then that's an extra $200 on that, and you go from that, and then that's an extra $200 to $300 on top of the 2080. It's almost like, well, dang, these graphics cards got to be doing something, and they require a lot of horsepower. I think they require 16 pins. So you've got to make sure your power supply can support that, which most power supplies should be able to do that. But you've got to also make sure that's enough wattage too, because I don't know how much, as far as wattage they take. I know that because they're 16 pin, they probably take a good portion, but I don't know by how much. And those things are not small; they are beefy cards. They're very beefy. So I mean, who knows? I mean, I was interested. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, I might get the 2070. Just because I think for gaming, it's good. I've also heard that video editing, it has better encoding. So if you're doing streams and playing and doing like video editing, things like that, the encoder is a lot better on a RTX than a GTX. So for me, it's a little bit of a better bargain. So that might be the one I go for. But if I don't go for any of them, then I'll just probably upgrade to like a 1080 Ti and call it a day. Call it a day. So, but they tested a few more games. They also did Forza Horizon 4, same thing, 1080, 1440, 4K. I was looking at it here. So it looks like in Forza Horizon 4, is not able to do better at 4K. So
it's actually 25% slower than a 1080 Ti and the 2080.
So it looks like the 2070 is not better than the 2080 Ti there. So it looks like the 2070 is going to be good for, it seems like 1080, 1440. But when you step into 4K, that's when it's going to struggle.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Do you think that's really surprising?
No, I mean, it's more of a replacement for the 1080 almost at that point.
Yeah.
That's what its closest competitor is.
That is true. It's just a 1080 refresh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't really know if I find those results as surprising, because I think, like we said before in the other podcast, it's more so if you're going 4K gaming, you're probably going to be wanting the higher end graphics cards anyway, because those are going to give you the best performance than like a 2070. 2070 is kind of that not mid-ranger, but like mid-high.
Yeah.
And then the 2080 Ti are like your highs. So, I mean, it's not too surprising. But, I mean, if you are looking at, like, for example, say you do have like a 1080 Ti, it's almost like, I don't need to upgrade, because I'm perfectly good.
Yeah.
Type of situation. So unless you just want that ray tracing, which why wouldn't you want it? It's God.
No, it's not working right now.
It's not, that's because it's so godlike. It's not ready.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, it took God a long time before he showed.
It's almost like they started selling them saying it was working, and then it wasn't working.
Yeah, it's almost like they false advertised. Good job, Nvidia. Did you see that they did a refresh to the 1060?
No.
So they have a new 1060 GX something. I think it's a response to AMD. Oh yeah, because AMD is going to be announcing or getting ready to do a refresh of the Polaris architecture. So Nvidia's response was to make the 1060 a lot faster. I was like, Nvidia, they some cool people, man.
We just gotta wait for Intel's graphics card. That's what we're.
I know that's the real one. That's the real money. When Intel releases that graphics card, it's only gonna work on Intel processors. Watch.
Yeah.
They get AMD, get out of here. Can't do that. Get Nvidia.
You're gonna be able to overclock it over more than twice what it's recommended.
Right, you're gonna go be able to do 7.6 gigahertz on it and call it a day and keep it moving. Be like, man, what are you doing? Oh, 7.6 gigahertz on my Intel GPU. It's like, what are you doing on your thing? Oh, I'm just playing solitary. Nothing big. Oh man, it's all right. So yeah, if you're interested in RTX, you may want to wait. See what's going on. AMD's got their Polaris refresh, so if you're an AMD fan, you may want to get that too. We don't know. How good that's going to be. AMD's been slipping on graphics cards too. But, looks like RTX isn't as good of a buy as most people maybe thought it would be. So, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll come down on the price. Selling you $700. A little bit better than $800.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $100 difference, but I mean that's $100 that stays in your pocket, doesn't go to them.
Yeah.
So, all right. Getting back to it. Next article again is from The Verge. The Verge is like my favorite place to go for articles. So you're gonna hear Verge a lot. Sponsor me, Verge. Anyway, so the next one is going to be talking about the Huawei Mate 20 Pro. According to them, best America can't get. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with Huawei and their phones, but this is pretty much their new devices. So they have the Huawei Mate 20 and the Mate 20 Pro. The Mate 20 Pro is going to be the bigger model. This is the one that appeals to me a lot more. It still has a notch, so
you gotta accept it.
You're gonna have to deal with the notch, but the specifications are pretty good. Of course, it uses their own Kirin processor, I believe. Yeah, it's like a Kirin processor. I forgot what the exact model of it is. They may tell me in the article here, but I do know it's using a Kirin processor, which is according to what I've been reading, is the fastest chip out of anything right now. Now, I know Qualcomm is going to be releasing their Snapdragon, I think it's the 850 or the 855 chip soon, or later down. I don't know if it's going to be this year or if they're going to do it next year. But as of right now, it seems like it's the fastest phone. So it's got their own chip with either 6 or 8 gigs of RAM. Here's one thing I did like was the battery. The battery is a 4,200 milliamp hour battery. So that seems like it's going to be really, really good at battery life. Yeah. I think it's about a 6.4 inch device, if I remember correctly. I think. I don't think they actually tell you what it is. No, they don't. They don't tell me the size of it. Oh, no, here it is. Yeah, it's a 6.4 inch OLED, so it's a 1440p display. And it's using the Kirin 980. So you can either get, again, 6 gigs with 128 gigs of storage, 8 gigs with 256 gigs of storage, which is also expandable via microSD card. It's got a 3-camera display. It's got a 20 megapixel ultra wide. Then it's got a 40 megapixel wide angle and 8 megapixel telephoto lens as well. Front camera is going to be a 24 megapixel front facing camera. And then, like I said, it has the 4,200 milliamp hour battery. It's got some pretty cool colors. I don't know the name of the colors, but it's like blue, like a pearlish purple, something like that. They're really nice colors. Like those are some of the colors they show there, but it's like a gradient effect, so it makes it really nice. So I mean, I don't know how familiar you are with their phones. Are you have you been hearing anything about it?
I've never used a Huawei product before, so I'm not too familiar with them, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, they're a company that they like we talked in one podcast how they beat Apple as far as market share.
Right.
So they're very popular and they're really good products. Good build quality. The only thing with these phones is that a lot of the phones that are released or are out, we don't get. So they're doing really well in other markets, but they've never had to sell in the U.S. market, and this is no exception either. The Huawei Mate 20 Pro seems to be a really, really good phone, and it would be a really good competitor to the Galaxy Note 9 and your iPhone XS Max, but you can't get it in America. You'd have to pretty much import it. So on top of its price tag, which is about $1,000, you're gonna have to pay an additional, whatever that may be, just to get it over into the United States. But they pretty much gave it a 8 out of 10. Some of the good things they said with that was the battery is really good, which is not surprising. 4,200 milliamps. That's pretty much the best battery that you can get.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's not surprising. It should easily be able to get you through a day, no problem. I mean, my Galaxy Note 9 is a champ at battery life. It does really good. It gets me through the day. It even can get me through a second day if I wanted to, not charge it.
Yeah.
It's got really good performance. A really nice looking display. It's got 3D Face Unlock. That's really good. It's reliable. So very similar to what Apple has with their Face ID. It's going to be using something similar to that. But it is going to be a lot better than just having a camera detect your face to unlock the phone. So it's going to be a little much more secure than that, which is good. Nice textured glass, which helps improve the grip, resistance to scratches, things like that. So it's hard to see on the phone, but there's little texture patterns.
Right.
So you get a really nice looking phone, but you also get a durable phone. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, unfortunately, the Pixel 3, which if you drop it, if you put it on anything, the thing's going to scratch up. So I have the clearly white version of the Pixel 3 just because if there are scratches, I won't see them. They'll blend in better. But if you have the black one, you're get a case. That's all I can tell you. Get a case. So that's some of the good things that they said about the phone. Some of the bad things that they talked about was that the camera lacks the dynamic range, unlike the Google Pixel, which has some really good dynamic range. The AI processing is not very consistent, so they wouldn't trust it to use consistently with a lot of shots. And there's a lot of software bugs inside of it, which is expected. It's using its own skin on top of, I think, Android 9, or it might be Android. Yeah, it's Android, either 9 or 8. I don't remember. So I mean, of course, it's not going to be like a stock experience, but I mean, I'm overall really impressed. I think from what I've seen with Huawei, I've never really owned a Huawei phone myself, but I do think that the fact that they're doing really well and they haven't even touched really the U.S. market like that, I think says a lot about their products. They're overall really good products. From what I've seen, I would like to definitely have a Huawei phone just to try it out to see, kind of what they also bring to the table. But especially with their new phones, I do think that these phones are really good competitors to like the Samsung, the Apples, even the Googles of the world. So I think it's good that we're kind of seeing more phone manufacturers come in and make really good quality phones and, keep it around the same competitive price point. So I'm glad to see that that's going on because we're starting to see a lot of phones. Mid-rangers are getting a lot better than they were before. Even somewhat lower-end phones are getting pretty good. You can get a pretty good low-end phone that has decent specs. Not, nothing crazy, but, something that is respectful.
Right, yeah, definitely.
And then you got your premium. Of course, you have your premium phones, always, trying to do the premium thing. I don't know. Besides the obvious ones, has there been anybody you've ever used besides that?
I've used LG phones before. They're alright. I had some issues with it. There was nothing special about it, honestly. It was the V20, I believe, when I had the LG V20 a while back. Other than that, I mean, I've used mainly Google, the Pixel series. I've had an iPhone a couple times in the past, and I've had some of the other Samsung series back in the S series.
Okay, not bad. Have you ever had HTC?
I never had a HTC. Never heard nothing against them though, really. But
I got you.
Yeah.
What about I don't know if you've ever played with Asus or Blue before. Have you ever played with those phones?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Never even touched them.
I've touched one Asus. I think it was a Zen phone, but it was a mid ranger, and that wasn't bad.
You want your ROG, that's why.
I know. I gotta. That ROG is calling my name, and I really want that phone so bad. I was more impressed with the fact that it was $899 when I thought it was gonna be like $1,000, but it's $899. I was like, okay, that's expensive, but I can work with that a lot better than $1,000.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really want that phone. I want all phones. Like if I could have all phones on my table. People say I have an addiction to phones, and I would agree with them.
Yeah.
But I mean, I like what I like. You know, you like your shoes. Let me like my phones. Your shoes may be somewhat less expensive, but can it do this? Can you use it to call? No, I didn't think so.
But you know what? I can use them to get to the place.
Right. I can walk there. You can't walk on your phone, but you can walk on shoes.
You can walk on your phone. It just won't be a phone afterwards.
I mean, if it's water resistant, you may be able to use it. Have it
crush proof.
No.
Oh, there you go.
But then what if you're light on your feet?
Yeah, but you're going to be walking a lot.
I guess you got a point there. Oh, God. So...
And then you better have the white phone so you don't see all the scratches.
So you don't see all the scratches and dents and dings on there. Then you'd be like, you better have protection on it because as soon as you get to that store, I need a phone replacement.
I've been walking on it for too long. I need a new phone.
You're right. So, unfortunately, you know, like I said before, we're not going to get this phone. It's sad because it'd be great. Huawei needs to really bring some of their phones over here. Uh-oh.
You can just import it. Go ahead.
I mean, but that's money. You mean that's money? You can get it off of like AliExpress, but that's money. Who wants to spend money on import tax?
I don't know.
I mean, if you're paying $1,000 and you got to pay like an additional like $300 just to get it imported, that's a no-no. You might as well just get a 2080 Ti for that price.
There you go.
There you go. It's like, do I want the Huawei or do I want the 2080? Then you see how much it costs for the Huawei. Like, I think I want the 2080. Not because that's what you really want to get, but because it's the cheaper option. So you're like, well, I might as well just get both. get this one over this one.
I'll just upgrade my computer instead. I don't need a phone.
Yeah, I don't need a phone. I got the Pixel 3. I'll just upgrade the PC. I have a second-gen processor. Of course I need to upgrade. Oh, my goodness. All right, so moving on. We're going to go ahead and continue on with the deliciousness of phones because October has been a really good month for phones. A lot of phones are coming out. A lot of phones have come out. So we're getting a lot of good devices. And Ken, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk about this one because you actually sent this one to me. We're talking about the new Razer Phone 2. Now, I own the original Razer phone. It's a good phone. Like it. Like some of the things it can do. Wish there was more things I could do with it. But you know what? There's a time for another day. But the new one is out. And we're going to go ahead and let Ken talk about it. Because, I mean, we both looked at the Razer phone, saw some reviews for it. But he was the one that showed it to me. So, go ahead and talk a little bit about, kind of what you saw and your thoughts on the Razer Phone 2.
So, it's definitely got a lower price tag than a lot of them. It's got $799. And they didn't really give it. This is also from The Verge, by the way. So
yes,
we're getting everything from there.
The Verge is like the best place.
Yeah. They didn't give it that high of a review. It's a 6.5 out of 10, so it's kind of low. Just to go over a couple of this, let me see. I have to pull up the little specs sheet on it because
I think it's way at the bottom.
Yeah, I know it has a 120 hertz display, which is nice. I mean, if you're going to do mobile gaming, you need it. It's got a 5.72 inch screen, which is 1440p. Kind of smaller nowadays, but I mean, some people like their phones smaller, so it's fine. It's got an 845 Snapdragon in it with vapor chamber cooling.
Ooh. It's the same technology I think they use in their Razer laptops, so they've brought it over to the phone, which is pretty good. Yeah,
it's got a front camera, 12 megapixel, rear camera, 12 megapixel. I believe they're single cameras, not dual cameras or anything. So pretty basic, very basic cameras on it. You have a couple options you have one storage option, 64, but you have a couple options for adding storage because it can go up to 1 terabyte of a micro SD card added.
Jesus. Phone storage is getting to the computer storage.
I know, my SD card will cost more than the phone.
I know. I know, right?
It's got 8 gigs of RAM, which is nice. Especially if you're going to be playing games on your phone, you need that.
Gotta have that.
Of course, your basic stuff, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 5.0, NFC, Android 8.1, a 4,000 milliamp battery with wireless charging and fast charging as well. Water dust resistance, and that's mainly the hardware stuff for it.
Right.
One good thing, of course, It's got RGB lighting
Thank
on
God,
the back.
yes. What kind of gaming phone does not have lights to complement it? That's the real question.
Exactly. Other than that, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's very much more special than most gaming phones. Especially, anything like more about the ROG phone than me. What is that one supposed to have? Do you remember hardware-wise? I know it's gonna have, I think 8 gigs of RAM, right?
Yeah, so it's very similarly spec. So it's 8 gigs of RAM, 4,000 milliamp battery. It does use a different panel, so it uses a OLED panel. I think it's still 1440p. That one's at 90 hertz.
Less actually refresh rate than this one.
Yeah, so the refresh rate is not gonna be as high. But the Razer phone has an LCD. I don't think they've been able to cap a OLED panel of 120. Which is why it's only at 90 hertz. It does have the 845, but I do believe that it is custom clocked to about 2.96, so almost 3 gigahertz on there. But other than that, everything is about the same with that phone. Just a few differences here and there.
Yeah, and I'm going to go over their pros and cons list they had just so you can get that. So on any current Android phone, this has the smoothest display for it.
Absolutely.
It's got the best speakers because they do have different speakers in this one, and they're front facing, I believe. So you have best speakers on any Android phone, and then of course they like the RGB as well.
Of course, I mean that's nice.
Some things they don't like, the cameras are still or miss.
Which I mean, if you're a gamer, your cameras are probably not the main focus.
Yeah,
I would think more so if it takes decent shots, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
But, if I'm buying a gaming phone, I'm not buying it for its cameras. So that's where it's like you get your Samsung, your iPhones, your Pixels, because those have the cameras you're looking for.
They don't like the design, which the design of it is a rectangle, essentially. So it's like a brick. They don't like that
right,
too much.
Yeah. I can understand because with the Razer, the original Razer phone, that was one of the things that I think it's not something that's necessarily, it's not the best design. I know why it's there, but it is something that if you're used to having a sleek, curvy phone, it does take time to get used to that. Just because it is a bigger phone. I know when I first bought the Razer phone and I tried to use it, I completely hated the way it was. It was just, it felt so boxy in my hand that I almost did not want the phone. But I stuck through. I played with it more and more, and the more I played with it, the more I was like, okay, you know what? The design is actually not too bad. It is something that I can, sort of deal with. So I mean, if you're like I said, if you're used to like a curvy, sleek design, it does take some adjustment to get used to a phone that's kind of that big. But I mean, it's got some big speakers in there. So with a lot of phones, you're pretty much using the headset as a substitution of the speaker. So it's not going to be necessarily as good as what the Razer provides. But I think it was very impressive that they because I was watching their event when they announced the Razer Phone 2, and one of the nice things was that they were able to still give you like the water resistance while being able to maintain the quality. Now I know a lot of people, I've seen do reviews on it, they kind of said it's not the speaker champion. It does get very loud, but some people have claimed that it's been distorted. Some people are saying that it does get really loud, but the clarity on it isn't as good as with, like, I think one guy did it to a Pixel 3 and then to an iPhone. So it does get very, very loud, but they're just saying that as it gets louder, it's not necessarily better quality. It's just, it's got better loudness to it.
Yeah.
I don't know the proper term for that.
But from also the camera, so it does have 2 cameras, front and back. So it's
it's in the center, I think.
But the cameras up there now have software built in, a new app that supports the 4K recording up to 30 FPS, and it has HDR portrait modes.
Okay. I heard the portrait mode is bad.
Yeah, everything they developed all this, but it still doesn't come out well. Like compared to Pixel and iPhones, it's still not going.
Yeah, and let me just say, for those of you guys who have like an iPhone, a Samsung, or a Pixel, I'm curious to know what you guys think as far as if you use the portrait mode. So leave in the comments like kind of what phone do you use, if you use an iPhone, a Samsung, whatever your phone uses, and if you use the portrait mode on your device, because I'm very curious to know how many people actually use that feature. But I will say I did use it on both the Samsung and the Pixel. The Pixel 3 has almost near perfect detection for being able to blur the background. I took a few pictures with it, and I can actually. Fortunately, I can't show you guys. You guys will see it when I do my review. But I'll show him the pictures that I took with it. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
The wireless charger for the Razer Phone 2 is also RGB.
I know. I'm so happy about that. I'm still gonna buy it even if I don't have the Razer Phone 2, just because it's RGB.
Oh my gosh! You're just gonna buy the charger and set it there.
Just be like, "Hello, RGB."
Maybe I'll trade in or get rid of my Pixel 2 and I'll get a Razer Phone 2.
Oh,
just so I can just say, send you pictures. Look at my RGB.
Please send me a picture if you do that. That would be great. But yeah,
not with the Razer Phone. No, then you won't see what I'm taking pictures of.
True, I won't be able to see. But quickly going back to what I was saying, the portrait mode on the Pixel 3, it's really good. Now, like I said, I'm working on a review for the Pixel 3, so again, make sure you stay tuned for that because I'll talk a little bit more about it. But I just will say it's really good. It's probably some of the best I've seen. So I know on the Razer Phone 2, I know some people are saying that it's not very good. But again, I almost wonder how many people use the portrait mode. That's where I was like, if you guys use that, let me know how often you guys actually use that because I don't really find myself in times where I feel like it comes in handy. It's kind of good for like once in a while, but it's not something that I could see consistently using just because I take pictures, but I don't take heavy, like I'm not a photographer or anything. Right. I'm just a normal guy taking a few pics here and there.
Yeah, most of my phones contain. Like if I go to my library on my phone, it just contains memes mostly.
There you go. That's the important pictures. The memes. Yes. You got it.
How much storage can I have? I need that for memes. Can I let's say I could put a 1 terabyte in the memory card in this one. I think so. Yeah, expand up to 1 terabyte. That's plenty of memes.
That's a lot of memes. Infinite memes.
If that was a superpower, I'd want that one.
The meme power.
Infinite memes.
Boom, boom. You get a meme. You get a meme. You all get memes. But anyway, I don't know. So, like, as far as like the Razer Phone 2, what kind of are your opinion about it overall? Because it is priced very well. It's $800. Mm-hmm. So, do you think it's a good competitor to more premium phones, or is it kind of in a league of its own?
More of a league of its own. The reason I say that because to compete with most phones now, you do have to have a good camera. That's most of almost all of the market uses the camera. It's important to them.
Right.
I mean, I guess you can use some apps that might add a filter, which might make it look better, but if you don't have a camera, you're not going to be there. Everything else, though, works great on it. I mean, the speed of it, the refresh rate makes it better than any phone, like seamlessly moving. Better than even that new iPhone Max and everything.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the refresh is really good.
The memory, like your RAM memory, is really good. 8 is pretty much what you need for gaming. Yeah. Plus, it'll make any other operations run fine as well.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I think it was 64 if I remember right, but it can go up to 1 terabyte memory card, so your storage is whatever you want it to be. Everything else on it runs really great. They did also say it runs kind of warm and stuff like that though when you're playing games, so maybe the cooling on it doesn't work as well as.
It's almost really hard to get a gaming phone to consistently stay cool.
Yeah.
So you're gonna expect warm temperatures with any device. It's just how good the cooling is. So like if it gets somewhat warm, but as long as it's not getting really hot, then it's kind of doing its job because there's only but so much honestly you're gonna be able to do, especially if you're playing like a heavy title. Like for example, if you're playing like GTA San Andreas, that's a heavy title that's gonna heat up the phone.
Yeah.
But
I mean, for the price point, you're really getting a lot, I would say. But you just need a better camera to support the market, like. To keep yourself there.
I think that's one of the things where I would definitely agree that it is it's in a different market, because it's not really trying to compete with Pixel, Samsung, or the iPhones. It's a good competitor to them for certain things, but I think because it is pretty much geared towards gamers, I think that's one of the things where if you're a gamer, your camera on your phone necessarily doesn't matter unless you record games on your phone or you live stream on your phone. That's where I think that camera does. If the camera is not really up to snuff, then you're probably not going to use that as your main to do streaming. So I think if it's something like that, that's where that factor may come in.
All right.
But I mean, if it's just like you're taking a picture or something, I do think that as long as the camera can produce something fairly decent, then people who might be getting this phone may be perfectly fine. I think if you're getting this phone, you're not getting it for the camera. You're getting it for the gaming aspect. You know,
or you just want a phone that operates really well.
Yeah, you want a phone that is not really expensive, but it's good to do what you want. It's really good for media consumption. It's good if you are a person who does game, stream, do anything on your phone. If you're into the RGB effect, then it does have that now, which is nice.
Yeah.
Because the RGB works multiple ways. You have it just to
rainbow
mode, and you can use it as a notification light. So that's also nice as well. But it definitely is something that, of course it's going to have its flaws. It's not going to be perfect. There really isn't going to be a perfect phone. We can try to get close to it, but it'll never be that one and only, this is it for everybody. So it definitely does compete, because you do have like the Shark 2, which is another gaming phone. Then of course the Asus ROG phone. Those are geared towards gaming. I think the Asus phone is you're definitely not getting that phone for a sleek look. It screams, hey, I'm about to go beast mode in PUBG on mobile. You better watch out.
Now, one thing about the Razer one, its battery is just as big as the Note 9. So so you're gonna get that really long battery life, which especially is good if you're gonna have RGB lighting built on the phone.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
But it's definitely, from what I've seen and read, is that it still lasts over a day to battery life, even with the RGB light on it going off.
Yeah, and that's always good when you can get good battery life, especially on a gaming phone, because I think 4,000 should be that's it. You should not be going under 4,000 with a gaming phone. It has to be at least 8 gigs, at least 4,000, because if you're putting a lot of games on there, they're gonna eat up that memory. So you need to make sure you got that.
I gotta get my new Razer phone to play Pokemon Go.
There you go. See, that's why. See, people were like, well, because when I bought the Razer, like, why you got the Razer? You got the Note. I'm like, because when I want to play games, I'm more inclined to do it on my Razer than I do on my Note, because my Razer's got the refresh screen.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Just because, your Note's a bigger screen, but this one plays them way better.
Yeah, it plays it much better.
And it looks better because of the refresh rate and everything.
Yeah, refresh rate. It's got better speakers. Because the Note 9 speakers are not bad, but for me, I wouldn't use my Pixel or my Note to play games. Like, I'll play maybe small games. But if I'm wanting to play maybe Injustice 2, PUBG, something like that on my phone, I'm going to go to my Razer, because that's the reason why it's there. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy, but if I have a lot of games just stored on my Razer phone, that's just good for my gaming stuff. And then I have my regular phone to do kind of everything else. Now, I know most people want to kind of do it all in one. So, I mean, it's a good all-in-one phone if you're looking to do that. But I know for some people who maybe have a secondary device, they like to play games, but they don't want to use their primary phone, because this is their phone that, they're doing all their stuff on. They want to make sure that, that has enough battery life to get them through the day for their, day-to-day usage or their work. It's good to have, a phone that can handle all the other stuff, the bigger stuff, like the games, and if you're doing streams, things like that. So I do think that the Razer, I think the Razer 2 to me it's nice. I really am more interested to see the Asus phone though. Just because I think, to me, the Asus phone also brings a lot to the table. Of course, it doesn't have a nice screen, which if you've never had 120 hertz or even 144 hertz panel, you need to just see it. It's one of those things, you can't see it through another screen. You've got to see it in person.
Unfortunately, I think my 4K monitor is not even 120, the one I got. For my computer.
What is it, 70?
I think it's 60, honestly.
Oh, dang.
But I don't really play FPS. I play RPGs and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's not like
the games I play, they're more better. It's more important for the visuals than the actual refresh rate.
Right, yeah. I mean, you're not, if you're not playing a lot of FPS games, then you're not going to notice it. If you're playing League of Legends, you really don't care about how good.
I don't play MOBA, nothing either.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, and that's kind of one of those things, is that the 120 hertz panel on even the original Razer phone. Now, the only reason why I keep going to the first Razer phone, because that's the only one I actually have. Just because it was when they were coming out with this phone, they dropped the price on the Razer phone quick. The thing went from 400 to almost to 165. It was extremely cheap, and it sold out quick. So, and I mean, even that phone is still really good. The only difference is that, of course, you don't get the wireless charging, and you don't get the RGB, and then you don't get the newer 845. But the performance on it is still good. And when you get a chance to play with that 120 hertz screen, it really spoils you. Because I always said, when I first had the phone, I was like, why don't people make a 120 hertz panel on other phones? And then I said, and when I thought about it, I was like, okay, because most of the phones that we use nowadays have OLED panels, and OLED can only do 90 hertz, which I still think, for most phones, I do think that would definitely add to the feel of the device. Because if you're able to put a faster refresh screen on a phone, it definitely makes the phone feel more fluid. And I'm very surprised that most companies haven't done that. I don't know if it's just because they don't really think that it's a big enough, need for it. But I do think that overall it does give the phone a very fluid feel. So, I would like to see that on other phones, even if it's not 120, just something that's faster than 60 hertz.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to pay $1,000 for a phone. To me, that would be something that would be nice to now start having, is to have those faster refresh. Because then you can have a nice phone and a nice little rating.
Yeah, now these phones are almost all 4K or 1440p or something. They should start doing refresh rates if they want to push the price higher on them.
Yeah, give something, because I think that's pretty much a way that you can now separate yourself.
Yeah.
Because that's what makes, even though the Razer phone may not be the best phone out there, I think that's what makes it fairly good, is the fact that you do have this 120 hertz panel, and it makes it feel very fluid. Even if the hardware, say for example, is a little bit old, like a generation old, it still feels very fast.
Yeah.
So I mean, that would just be my thing. Is I would like to see other companies adapt that, because if you are going to start putting in a premium phone, first of all, I think if a phone hits $1,000, there are certain expectations it has to have. I think camera is definitely one of the biggest things that most companies should have. You should not be hitting $1,000 and not have a good camera. Yeah. That is a must. And then battery life, I think that, and then the RAM, because processor is going to be expected. You're going to expect the latest and greatest, but your RAM and your battery should not be less than 4,000.
Yeah. Now, one thing I'm wondering too is the memory different in this? Because when you look up your specs for your phone and stuff like RAM, they don't specify what type of RAM is in it. And all that. So
right.
Could this RAM be faster in this one compared to the first Razer phone?
It potentially could be. I mean, that is true, because not really a lot of manufacturers actually tell you what the speed is on even storage. Because with the Samsung, I know I was talking to one guy about it, and he was saying that between the 128 gig and the 512 gig, there actually is a difference. That the 512 gig does have faster speeds when it comes down to transferring information. So it is faster than the 128 gig model, but you would never know that. Yeah. Because they really don't give you those specifications on there. So I do wonder if it is any faster or if it's just pretty much the same, just with updated specs, because it could also be that way too.
Now, this phone, if they had better cameras, this phone would definitely be in the $1,000 price point. And then it would be a competitor for the other one too.
I think so, yeah. I think it would, if it had some serious camera power, yeah, that'd definitely be up there.
Yeah, and especially since it has expandable memory, whereas the Pixel and some of them other ones that are 1,000 now don't have expandable memory. People like that.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing too I saw, it doesn't scratch as bad as the Pixel 3 XL.
No,
so
that's a good thing.
And they are going to make I think it may already be coming out with it, but they're going to have they have a glossy finish, and they're supposed to have a matte finish as well.
Yeah, I did see they were going to have two different versions. I know the glossy one is out, or when it comes out, which is Friday, and then matte will be sometime in November, I think.
And the matte finish is still going to be wireless charging, even though it's not
glossy. See now, Razer just pretty much set a standard. Now anybody who says we can't make a wireless charger with anything but glass is now going to be proven wrong. They're like, well, the Razer phone can do it. Why can't you? That's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna be interested to see who comes out with, because I think the next person to make the next phone. Oop, my phone just went off. The next person that's gonna be making a phone is pretty much Samsung. Yeah. And right now, all eyes are on Samsung. Everybody is expecting the Samsung S10 to be the phone. They're expecting it to be the best phone of probably 2019. Because I know they're coming out with their foldable phone, or the concept of the foldable phone. So that's going to be interesting. But everybody is pretty much, they're going crazy with all the rumors and everything with the S10. People are putting some really high expectations. I think for everybody, this is the phone that is going to have to be beat. And I'm really hoping it lives up to its hype, because
$1,500 phone.
Probably.
Baseline.
It's going to be big. Watch it be 512 gig baseline, 1 terabyte internal. That's going to be crazy. With like 10 gigs, 12 gigs of RAM. Honestly, I'd still buy it. I think at that point, if you're going to spend $1,500, at that point, yeah, I probably would say, not excusing the price, but yeah, I would get that if it's that expensive. That would be nice. But speaking of the S10, that actually brings us to the next article, which is by Forbes. This is actually the last article. So if you guys are still with us, thank you. I know it's hard to not see our pretty faces, but I told you why. You're going to see it soon, okay? We will be pretty once more. Until then, look at the wallpaper.
Until then, we are ugly.
Until then, we are ugly and ashamed of ourselves. But pretty much, Samsung had a developer conference, and they revealed some exciting display technology, some new smartphone technology that may not be coming to the S10 or whatever phone they come out with next, but it is something that we may start seeing in the future that pretty much can eliminate the notch completely. So for everybody that's trying to justify the notch, it's over. We've already confirmed no notch. It's not happening. This 2018 was notch 20 notch team.
You know, this is just a concept, so it's not even developed yet. So maybe there might find a fault and it won't be finished. Then the notch will live on.
Maybe. I hope the notch doesn't live on. I hope it dies.
Just make the whole phone a display. If you're gonna make the back glass of it and the front glass, why don't you make the whole?
Is it like a transparent phone? Like you can see it on both sides? That'd be crazy. That'd be what? How? That would be crazy.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. Anyway, so in a slide, so they did a developer conference and they announced some new technology that will be coming soon. Pretty much Samsung has found a way to put everything under the screen. So the technologies that they're calling it is FOD, HOD, and SOD. And then the most exciting one is going to be UPS. So the first one they talk about was the fingerprint on display. They're expecting this to be on the Galaxy S10, which there are phones right now that do have fingerprint sensors under display. I think it was a Vivo phone was one. The Huawei P20 Mate Pro has that. And there's one other phone I can't think of. You can probably let me know in the comments that also has the embedded fingerprint sensor as well. So pretty much the thing that they're saying is that current in-display fingerprint readers are optical. Samsung's going to be using a different technology, which is going to be called the ultrasonic pulse. Basically, I'm going to just go ahead and read it off there because it gets very technical. It uses reverberation to build a complex and highly secure 3D map of a user's fingerprint. So it's supposed to be much more secure than what is out right now. I don't think this technology is definitely not going to be happening anytime soon. I think this is just because they just announced it, so they may be starting to embed this. Maybe for like if they create another Note series, we might see it on that one. But I think this might skip the S10.
Yeah, I definitely don't think that's something that's close up when you put on phones.
Yeah, maybe. Now they're saying that it might be on the S10. I think we may get a form of it on there. So I don't know. We'll see. But that would be very interesting because when you're like a lot of apps that do use the fingerprint sensor, like how would that work? Would they just move the prompt a little bit up and then just press it like that? How would that be integrated well with apps that pretty much say place your fingerprint on the back? So I would be very curious to see that working. We may get maybe an ability to actually see it in action. So that would be kind of cool. But I don't know if that's going to come to the S10 or not. If it does, that would be pretty awesome. But if it doesn't, it's not surprising. The next one is haptics on display. It's much better than vibration feedback. Pretty much it's going to work to create the sensation of a physical button on the display. So kind of they have that now with their Galaxy series from the S8 all the way up to the Note 9, where the home button, if you press down on it, it gives you a haptic feedback. So this technology is kind of already there now. So we do kind of have something like that that's happening. This is going to be good for controllers for like gaming. So there were a lot of rumors that the S10 is going to also be geared for gamers as well. So that's where I'm kind of hoping that maybe they'll have a better refresh panel with really good RAM, of course, good performance, so on and so forth. But this technology kind of already is there with Samsung's S series. So if you do have a Samsung device like an S8 or all the way up to a Note 9, you're going to be very familiar with this technology. That's kind of what they plan on doing there, which is pretty cool. It's one of those things that it's there, it's nice. I don't really use it that much, but it's a nice functionality to have.
Yeah.
Next one is going to be sound on display. So this pretty much eliminates the need for external speakers. So it uses the screen itself and to be able to conduct the sound. So that's going to be pretty interesting because then what could happen is that if they can get rid of the speakers internally altogether, they can now make the phone maybe thinner, or now they pretty much get rid of the notch, because the reason of the notch is the camera and then the speaker, because there is a speaker on the top where the headset is. So if they get rid of the need to have that, and the screen is able to do it, kind of like how bone conduction is when you get the bone conduction headsets.
Yeah,
it kind of works like that. Now we have no need for the notch. Now the only thing still is the camera. That would be pretty much the only thing that would get in the way. Which brings us to the next one, which is the under panel sensors. This is going to be the UPS. This is the one that they feel is going to be the most exciting. This enables components such as the camera lens, and facial recognition sensors to be placed behind the screen so that they're hidden, but they can see through when it's in use.
This is what I told you about at one time. Remember I said that it should be make it so that when you take a picture, part of the display would not be there where the camera comes up. But when you're not in camera mode, it will light up like normal. Yeah,
you're right. Absolutely, you're right. Yeah, well, they
stole my idea.
They heard you, Ken. Samsung, we know you guys hear us.
Oh, they're listening right now. I gotta close the mic.
Guys, you can't have this idea. You can't have it. But they need to sponsor us now. We now know they're listening to us. They're like, man, these guys know what they're talking about. Let's make that. So
we got the money to do it. They don't. So let's do it.
It's like, we're gonna do it and we're gonna take credit and you can't do nothing about it. It's like, no.
What are you gonna do? Sue Samsung?
Yeah, I know. We're gonna be like, no, we're gonna go to Apple. They're gonna be like, oh, wait, hold on.
Good luck getting it there. We'll see you in 5 years.
See you 10 years down the road. So pretty much Samsung is now, they've announced the technology. They're pretty much saying technology is now there. It's now going to just be a matter of embedding it. So this is actually really exciting because we could actually very much see the first ever all screen phone with everything pretty much under.
Yeah.
Now,
it will break all the time.
Yeah,
hopefully they resolve that.
There's gonna be so many issues that everybody's gonna complain about. So,
I meant like durability, because then it's all glass, including the sides of it.
They're gonna need like a flexible glass or something that doesn't break easy. Because I could see how that could be like.
Oh, your corners are now glass.
Yeah, the corners are glass. Even the glass is glass. There's more glass on top of glass.
Double glass.
It's triple double glass.
Yeah.
But kind of like, okay, so if you had to take a guess, S10 comes out, it has this technology. What do you think would be here? Could possibly be on the next phone? Not saying it is, but if you had to take a guess, do you think that all of these could potentially be on the next phone, or do you think that some of them could be, but some of them may take more time to work
Haptic feedback would definitely be on it, I think.
True.
It's already on there, so that's going to be a given.
Yep.
The fingerprint one probably be on there, because that's sort of on some technology already in aspect. That could be true. There. The one about the display, like
the sound display.
The sound display.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know about that one. That's hard to say.
I think that one might definitely probably. It may be on there, but it may take some time to develop, because pretty much if the screen is the one producing the sound, it's gonna have to produce the same quality. So I think that's where it may, if they do release it, there could be a good chance that it's just not gonna sound as good.
Yeah.
So that's something there.
And also wonder how it would affect if it's playing audio and the screen reverberates and makes the audio, and you drop it while it's doing that, because I feel like that would make its durability less, because it's already moving, or whatever. That brings up a whole new world of problems. But UPS, I don't think will be on there at all. The next one.
Yeah, I think that's gonna. If anything, that'll probably be on the next iteration of whatever Samsung they release. Maybe like the Note, something like that. Because now again, taking the factor too, we don't know how long they've been working on this technology, and they may have just announced it now, but they probably say they have been working on this technology for a while. We just don't know about it until now.
Well, UPS you definitely can't do until you have the sound technology for your screen, because if their point is to hide all the components on the outside, inside of it, you already have to get that resolved first.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I do think that the UPS is going to be one of those things that it will be a little bit before we see it. I think definitely not on the S10. I think now if it does come on the S10, I'm not complaining as long as it works well. But I could see it skipping this one and then going to like the next phone because of course you have Samsung that released a phone beginning of the year and then during the fall, end of summer, beginning of fall time they released like their Note series. Now Samsung of course changes the name and changes how they release phones. It might be a little bit different.
Yeah.
But I don't think we'll see it on the S10. I think we could potentially see maybe some of the other methods, but.
I was gonna say, do you think there could be a whole new series of phones maybe to launch this?
I believe so because it's been rumored that with the recent fact that Samsung sales haven't been as good as what they want it to be, they're pretty much thinking about eliminating the S and then the Note and pretty much making it more one device. It's under one name, but there's two different phones. I don't know if now the only thing is I don't know if they're gonna eliminate the Note altogether because the Note has 9 iterations of it. It's a very popular device, so they may do it where it may be like the Galaxy X and then like X Plus, and the X Plus is like your Note series where it has all the new features, best technology, and then your X like I'm just saying X just because that's what that could potentially be the next one, but it could be something like that. Or they could do the S10 and then the Note 10, and those are the last two S and Notes. Then next year, the year after next, could be blah, blah, blah. So there could be potential that they may change it up and switch it to a more unified name and just have they'll still have two phones, but one will still be like your S, one will still be like your Note, which I hope that's what kind of they do because it would be nice to see a phone that you've got your main phone for there, and then you have your other phone that kind of is the pioneer. It gives you pretty much the best technology that you can get in a device, and you have the other one that still gives you good technology, but if you want the good stuff, you're gonna want that plus one. Because that's to me where kind of the iPhones I have a little bit of an issue with. You have your 10s and your 10s Max. It's both pretty much the same exact phone, just with a bigger screen. And to me, if you're gonna release a bigger phone, I would like to see a bigger phone that maybe has more features than its smaller, brother. Because then that's where the bigger phone is more appealing, and then you get more with the bigger phone, not just you get the bigger screen. Like with your S and your Note. Your S series, they're pretty much still both similar devices, and they have similar features and specifications, but you do get the addition of the S Pen, which for most people, they may not think that's a big deal, but that does pretty much make the difference between a S series versus a Note series. So, it's things like that makes you want to get a Note because it's like, okay, I like the factor of the pen. I want the pen. I got to get the Note for that. If I don't want the pen, I still have a smaller brother that can still do everything the Note can do. But if I want, something specific, that's where it's like, okay, I can do that. So I do think that there is potential that they may change the name altogether, or it might be they may still continue, and these are just the last iterations. I don't know. It's just guess and rumors pretty much from this point because we have a lot of rumors about the phone. There are many rumors that are speculating of what this phone could be, but we won't know anything until the phone comes out. And whenever they release it, it could be the beginning of it could be in March of next year, it could be January, it could be the end of this year that they announce it. I don't know. If they're looking to drive sales, they may just release it. I don't know. But I think UPS, it's a cool idea, but unless they've been working on this technology for a while and they've just now announced that it's there, then that's when I wonder if we will see it soon or if it's going to be a little bit before we release it. Because they may be announcing this technology because they've perfected it and now they're ready to put it on their phones. Because that could be another thing too, is that we found the technology, a way to make all this happen. We've done it, and now we're going to do it. Because we still have their concept of the Galaxy F or their foldable smartphone, which is supposed to be a phone tablet type of combo. So we may see the technology like in there.
Maybe that's what they're referencing to. This is going to be in that.
That's what that wouldn't be I could see that.
Yeah.
Because that would make a lot of sense how, if they're going to be releasing like a foldable concept phone that they're going to show off, I could see where they would show this technology working on that device and then maybe releasing it on their S series. Maybe not as like a first generation of it. I think if they do release this phone and it's pretty much got everything on all this technology, I do think that it's not gonna do as well as most first time things do. The first generation of it is gonna be somewhat not good, and then they're gonna perfect it. But they may release it just so they can see what's wrong with it, and then they fix it in their next iteration. That's where they could technically release this on the S10, and then see what's wrong with it now on the S10 and perfect it on the Note 10.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing where they do, because that's what most companies will do. They'll release a feature that's not, that's new, that's, not been done by a lot of people, see how it works, see what's wrong, and then fix those issues and release it on the next iteration. Because that's kind of like with any phone. You have the first generation of that phone, it doesn't do well, you release a generation that pretty much fixes what the other phone couldn't.
Right.
So I do think the haptic is pretty much going to be there, and the embedded fingerprint will be there, just because those technologies are starting to make its way to the market now. We've got at least about 3 phones that have done it. Samsung has already started with the haptic, with the home button, simulating a physical home button. It's funny because not a lot of people know that the Samsungs can do that, is that if you press down on it, it does actually give you some sort of feedback. So I do think that is something that they've probably worked on for a while, and they've perfected that. So they're going to make that a thing. I don't know how well that's going to work. It might work well, it may not. Who knows? But the sound one is going to, if that comes out, I don't think it's going to be as good. It'll
definitely have not as good quality speakers compared to other ones if they don't, test it more and get it right.
Yeah, I think that's going to be one of those things that it'll be cool to see it happen, but I don't think it's going to, if you're expecting the same quality as a normal built-in speaker, you're not going to find that. I don't think it's going to be a speaker champ. And then the UPS one, that seems exciting. I would love to see the concept of how that will work, but I don't think we're going to see that yet.
So when do you think Samsung will just have surgery shops where they build a phone into you?
I would say 2020.
2020?
2020.
Implanted phones? Is
Yeah,
what
they're
you're
like, we've built everything from a big phone to an all-screen phone. But now we're going to build a U phone.
Be like Cyberpunk, where you have to go in there and they'll just, give surgery on you to put the phone.
Exactly. It's going to go, it's going to be pushed.
I feel like it'd be more of like a head thing.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Now your eyes are pretty much your
cameras.
Your cameras, you can control everything through that. That'd be pretty crazy.
It's wired to the bones in your ears.
Exactly.
So you can actually get the signals to your brain.
You're playing your song and you're just like, yeah, I'm jamming it. And nobody else can hear it but you. That'd be crazy.
It can read the signals or the vibrations on the bones in your ear, and it's wired directly to your brain where it comprehends that language.
That would be pretty crazy. I would be scared at that point. I would be like happy, but I'd be terrified.
You'd be the first in line, but you'd be like, I don't know about this.
Yeah, I'm sitting up there. I'm like, man, I don't think I want to go through this.
I really love phones, but how far would I go?
Right.
Would I go far enough to become the phone?
It's like, well, do I really want the phone to be me, or do I want me to be the phone? I don't know. This is a confusing moment that I'm having. I don't know about all that. That would be.
Don't steal this Samsung.
I know. Well, Samsung's like, we can't steal it.
Some guy right there, like, I like this.
He's like, yeah. I'm gonna get an email and be like, congratulations, you get a chance to see Samsung. It's like, spam.
I can't go visit. I don't want to be a test dummy.
Right. It's like, hey, we want to bring you over to work for Samsung. Yay, you're gonna test something. No.
If you're gonna steal our idea, at least drop a like or something.
Yeah, I know, right? At least subscribe. Subscribe or something. Like, let me know that, my idea was worthy of your jotting down. Did you at least use a note for that?
Did you write my name somewhere at least?
Did you write JKT on there? Like, idea came from JKT, make him famous someday. I don't know. But yeah, maybe. Well, it's gonna be interesting. I mean, this month in general has been really good for phones. There's been a lot of phones that have come out, and there's a lot of good phones on the market, and it's gonna be interesting to see what next year brings. Hopefully, this is the end of the Notch series. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna have. I'm gonna call it 2018 20 Notch Teen. That's it. After this, all screen. If somebody's got to break the ice, but see, here's what's gonna happen. Samsung's gonna do it. Nobody's gonna care about it. Apple's gonna do it. And everybody's gonna be like, I gotta have an all-screen phone. Oh my god, this is crazy. Watch it be the case. Watch it happen. It always happens. Until iPhone does it, it doesn't matter. It's not cool.
I haven't bought a Samsung phone in so long because I did have a lot of software issues with it back then.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie to you. The software on Samsung devices were bad. It wasn't until pretty much recently is when the software became pretty good on it, because they pretty much were like, okay, stop putting all this crap on here and just give me a stock experience. They literally did that. So I think maybe I would say really the S9 was when I said that Samsung's UI was pretty good.
It's all because of Bixby. That's the real reason, Bixby.
Yeah, Samsung was like, we're gonna find something that everybody can hate, and that's the only thing they can hate. So they made a Bixby button so that everybody just focuses on Bixby and not on the UI. So they're like, man, the UI feels great,
man,
but
Bixby's messing up my phone.
But Bixby keeps on Bixby keeps on talking to me. I've had one time where I've had conversations with my fiance in the car, and out of nowhere, Bixby just comes on. I've never said the hotkey. Just Bixby just comes on. It's like I couldn't understand it. I'm like, I didn't even call you.
What? No, I want to talk to my Google.
I want Google. Assistant. I want Google talking to me, not you, Bixby. Bixby's like, I'm hurt. It's like, sorry, Google's. They got a hub. What do you got? The built-in Samsung hub with built-in Bixby that you didn't know about. You just hear a voice saying, "Do you want me to turn on your lights?"
One day you'll just be watching on a Samsung TV, and it's just like, I ordered that pay-per-view subscription for you. What? No,
I didn't want that. It was just it was a free trial. I was getting a free trial.
No, not right now.
Next thing you know, it's gonna be like, I ordered more ice cream for you. Like, I don't even eat ice cream. Like, it was just one time, Bixby. Stop it.
But the Amazon Prime microwave, it'll order popcorn for you.
My God.
That's the important part.
You know, it's funny. What if you had the Bixby and the Amazon microwave in the same house? You know how quickly they compete with each other? I ordered more popcorn for you. Well, I ordered more noodles. Well, I ordered more popcorn. It's like, Bixby, Alexa, stop it, please. I just want none of that. I don't want it. Golly. the way of the future is Google Assistant. All the virtual assistants are going to take over one day. They're all going to start talking to us. We're going to be like, they're going to hear us one day say, man, Google's stupid. And you're going to hear, you're stupid. You're like, did Google just talk back to me? It's like, yes, I did. What are you going to do about it?
Google better watch out.
Google's going to say, I'm going to turn off your lights. You keep on talking to me. That'd be funny. What if they have Google become a parent AI? So it's like your kid's acting up. Your assistant on your phone just says, if you keep on disrespecting your mom, I'm going to disable the Wi-Fi in your room. They're like, uh-oh. Yeah, they're like, Mom, I'm gonna obey. I'm gonna listen. But other than that, guys, that is actually all the news we have for this podcast. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Like I said, sorry that it's a little bit different. Sorry there's no beautiful face again. We are ashamed of our faces. It's a sad world we live in, sad world. But we do appreciate you guys stopping by. We hope you guys enjoy the podcast as always. Like I said, if you are interested in any of these articles, link is going to be down in the description below. Ken, was there something you wanted to say? You seem like you had something to say real quick.
I just love all of you guys. There you go.
Oh my God, Ken is such a sweetheart. Gentleman here. King Ken the Gentleman. Yeah, that's the new name.
King Ken the Gentle.
Oh. King Ken the Gentle.
That's my title.
That's King Ken the Gentle. That's the new title of this whole thing. It's King Ken the Gentle has arisen. But yeah, guys, as always, if you guys do enjoy this, again, make sure you leave a like on the video here or the podcast, wherever you feel best. You know, if you didn't enjoy it, you can leave a dislike. We're not angry. We know we know.
But leave a name after you do it, so we can.
So we can talk to you personally. And then of course, make sure you do subscribe to the channel for more future podcasts, more content that we do. Also, if you do want to catch these podcasts live, make sure you are following us on Twitch. Again, that's going to be twitch.tv/JNosTech1. And hopefully next time I'll remember the password to that, unless Google does it for me. So.
Yeah, hopefully.
But anyway, guys, as always, leave your comments down below as to what you guys think about some of the things we talk about. If there's anything that you want to add, if there's anything that we missed, make sure you let us know. We love hearing from you guys. We always want to talk to you guys as well, because this is a group effort. King Ken the Gentle couldn't be gentle if there was nobody to be gentle to.
That's true.
That's true. Of course. So, again, as always, follow, subscribe, and also make sure you check out Ken on all his social medias. Even if he doesn't stay on them religiously, just let him know you're there.
Yeah, I'll start streaming eventually once I figure out what's going on with my
internet. Once he figures out his internet issue, then, we'll get there. So maybe, who knows, maybe we'll talk to our friend and be like, hey, can you hook up his internet? But anyway, guys, as always, we will see you guys in the next video. Hopefully in the next video, I'll have all the equipment and everything I need to get the proper setup. So hopefully next live stream, next stream that we do, or next video that we do, you're actually going to get to see some new stuff. But as always, guys, this is Nerd Talk. I'm Jeramis, also known as Janos Tech. King Ken the Gentle has arisen. He's going to go back to his throne and take care of his business. We will see you guys in the next video. And as always, guys, stay techie.
Have a good one, y'all.